You are joined here with me, your girl Brooke, and we are here with the amazing Duraie. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for meeting me.
Oh, it's so lovely to meet you. I wanted to sit down and talk to you about this fabulous show, Sync. So I had a question for in terms of the direction for this. So Sync beautifully drifts between tenderness and unease, from quiet moments I thought of intimacy to sudden tension. There's a lot of back and forth with that. How was the rhythm between these contrasting tones put together? And were there specific visual or sound motifs that you used to do that? There's a constant dance, between tension and intimacy. From a directional point of view, how was that able to happen?
Yeah. So I think like the my focus was on like the human relationship
Yeah.
between the mother and the son, and
Yeah.
building that tenderness was really through a lot of the writing,
Yeah.
and the creating how those two actors were rehearsing.
Yeah.
It was really amazing how we rehearsed all together, and
Yeah.
how like the boy prepared for his role for a very long time. Clara Khoury, the mother, as well, was incredible. So I was lucky to have such a good cast, and the sound design has always been part of the script. So I
Yeah.
always write with sound. I wanted to see like how I can use that power of sound through the visuals, and not focus on too much dialogue, because the film is very quiet as
Yeah,
well.
I think they were able to do that as well with the two main characters just interacting.
Yeah.
You can pick up a lot. It was a lot of unsaid words, a lot of slight looks, tension, and just unease when they made eye contact. Was that intentional?
Yes, I mean, I think I think this is how I kind of found my style and my voice in the film. And I think cinema is it's about silence. It's about the things you don't say and you just show.
Yeah.
And it's about a lot of emotions that show more than words.
Yeah.
And I think this is what I wanted to focus on. And I think for me, this is my kind of cinema where, emotions live when words fail.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to focus on, and just gazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really get that sense of it. I found the film beautiful. It looks at the issue of mental health, and it just puts it on the table and allows us to discuss it. It's things that many people struggle with behind closed doors, and I think this film allowed us to have an open conversation about mental health. It also looks at, I wanted to talk about the two leading cast members, mother and son. It looks at the relationship between the two, and what it means to be a mum. So lead cast, Clara and Mohammed, there's a relationship between Nadia and Basil, which feels incredibly intimate, and you get to see that there's moments of tension but beauty in all the chaos as well. This is expressed through silence, glances and gestures. How did you prepare to communicate this kind of emotion and language on screen without using dialogue?
Yeah, I think it was, all the nuances and the emotions were in the scenes.
Yeah.
And we prepared very well for that, me and the cast. And they knew exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
They knew their beats, they knew their cues, they knew everything. And I think Clara and Nizar, my actor, they had so much chemistry together already.
Yeah.
Like when they met, she would always tell me, Clara, that I feel like he's really my son. I feel like I've known him for a very, very long time, and the way they hit it off together was incredible. So,
Yeah.
and they really they knew this film was very personal to me. So
Absolutely.
they knew how important this was for me,
Yeah.
and everybody just worked with so much love, and the emotions between them really grew so organically.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful process, and it was flawless
Yeah.
with them, because they're so talented, and
Yeah.
that really helps.
Yeah.
When you work with so much talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You really pick up their chemistry and how they relate to each other. I think what's so beautiful about this is, even though he's going through a troubling time, and there's a time where, you get to emphasize with Nadia herself as a mother, struggling to desperately help her son. At the end, was it intentional to end the film the way you did? You know, Basil himself, he calls the police on himself after feeling bad for hurting his mother. And instead of him being reported and dragged away and she reporting him, she desperately runs out to check on her son again. And that's where we end. Was that the intentional ending you had? And what did you want viewers to take away from that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this film for me was always about the power of love and the power of acceptance and the power of surrendering as well. Because the boy kind of surrenders at the end of the film. And I think no mother in the world wants to call and report her son. No mother in the world has the power to do that, even if she knows it's for his best. But it's so complex and hard.
Yeah.
And I wanted to humanize the boy. I wanted to humanize people with mental illnesses because they're humans as well, and
Absolutely.
they're suffering. And I had many people come up to me in Toronto when we opened the film saying, thank you for humanizing us. Thank you for not making us look monstrous. And I don't think this mother had any idea that this was going to happen. So,
that's so beautiful.
Let's talk about the symbolism of water in this movie. Water is such a powerful image in sync. Water flows throughout the film as play, as reflection, and even danger. What did it come to represent for you as the story developed?
hi, Brooke. Thank you so much for your beautiful question. Actually, I love when critics or journalists pay attention to the water in the film because some people really miss on that sometimes, and it's like the title of the film is called Sink, so it's all about the water. I open with the water. The middle of the film has water. It's part of the routine together, but it's also the mother's psychological sinking. So I wanted to use the water as a symbol in the film, and that water, as you said, becomes a danger, and at the same time, their playful time. You really struck me with that because it's not everybody understands that. So for me, he's kind of like sinking under her, and she's not noticing the truth. So water for me was her denial, and at the same time, it was her comfort. So it was the mom's sort of. It was her sort of I would say playground, and then the water presented to me also her sinking state, her psychological state. So it's many things all together. So absolutely, and then we go back to the title, and it's about both of them basically sinking into this really horrible illness, and that she's not seeing the truth. So the water for me was a huge factor of symbolism. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
The other thing I wanted to ask you as well is that, so for me, Sync feels more, it just feels like more than a film. It has the unsaid conversations, I think, that a lot of households, continue to have at this very moment. It's almost a quiet call for empathy and sympathetic change, a call to discuss these topics. If audiences could carry one message out of this film, what would you hope that is?
Just don't abandon your kids and love them and accept them. And if you feel like they're struggling and they're in the dark, don't look away. Don't look away, because it could get really bad if you look away.
That's so beautiful. I love it. Well, do you know what? It's been absolutely great talking to you.
Thank you, Brooke.
And what would you like viewers to leave with this, and when do you want them to go and see this movie?
Well, I hope we have a release in the UK soon. But I hope the film gets visibility and that everybody gets to see it, because I really think it's an important subject that hasn't been spoken about from our region, and I hope that everybody leaves with tenderness after the film, and that although the film is really heavy towards the end, but I want you to leave with a sort of tenderness and a lot of love.